Hello. Good evening. I am eating some dinner because I didn't get my dinner until 10 minutes ago. But that's okay. I'm just setting up. We're gonna go straight into Minecraft, so it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. What am I eating? I'm eating fish and salad and vegetables. Yeah. Is the music too loud? Is that just me, or is the music too loud? It might be a me thing. Trying to get into the chill vibes. Yeah. But I'm eating fish, and there's some broccoli and some zucchini, spinach, capsicum, carrots. Yeah. It's very yummy. How's your guys' day been today? Has it been good? Alright. I think we are almost ready. Yeah! Hello? My model's not working. Yumi! Wake up, Yumi! Rise and shine. Wake up, Yumi. Rise and shine. There we go! What'd she eat? Oh, I already read that. I'm almost done. I'm shoveling it as fast. Anyway, I need to be chill. We're gonna have chill stream. Play some Minecraft. Do some story time. We're gonna continue reading the book that we read last time. I think that'll be the plan. Alright. Let's get this freaking Minecraft. Can you what? You say can I? No, you can't. That's me. It is not. Nobody is doing that. You cannot do that. I'm sorry. You can find a different place to set up my spot to read if you like, but you can't break other people's stuff. Okay. Oh, we got some guitar. I got freaking copyright striked last time for the tunes that I played, which is really, really annoying. Dude, it feels like literally like an hour ago I was streaming. I think it's this one. Yay! Let's get this sorted. There you go. Can you guys see? It's just ever so slightly not fitting. This is very annoying. What about now? Here we go. To be fair, it's a horrible placement. We're gonna be good, okay? Whoa, I'm lagging. Oh, excuse me. I did a burp. Whoa! Where's my... I don't remember how to do it. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not right. That's wrong. Ah, here we go. We want this one. Yay! That is... Yep. It's cute. Look, it's a little heart. It's... Yeah. It's cute. It's a heart. It does, in fact, block the sunset, but that's okay. That's okay. We can sit on... This does actually kind of block the sunset. I don't want to destroy... Moving here somewhere to the right. Yeah. What should we do, chat? Should we leave it? I mean, anyway, you know? Oh, nice here. What's this? Diamond in the sky. I want to see what people have been doing. Oh, this is the maze. Oh my god. That's a really big maze. Okay, wait. I want to do the maze. Hi, and good evening to you, Miss Neko Yumiko. How's your evening so far? My evening is going very good. Thank you, CPU. Okay, should we do the maze? Kiwi's maze. I never know how to say the name. I'm gonna call him Kiv. This is Kiv's maze. Can you guys hear the game? That's probably... Whoa, I'm making myself small. Game capture. I want the music to just be in the background. I want the game to be mostly there. Alright. Wow. There's only one. I went the wrong way. What the heck? Oh. Is it actually a maze or is it a path? Oh, that's a dead end. I was gonna say, do we go left or right? But it's just a dead end. Wow. There's hair on my microphone. Ew. There's dog hair on my microphone. Oh no, dead end. Okay. Here we go. Do we go left? Oops. Do we go left or right? I'm gonna go right. We'll go this way. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh no. I'm lost. Oh. Oh no. Wait, how do I get back? Oh. This way? This looks promising. Oh. This way. Not this way. This way. How long will you me get stuck in the maze for? I feel like I just got deja vu. I feel like I've been that way. Not this way. Oh. Dead end. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm gonna get stuck in this freaking maze. Whoa, I feel like I'm lagging. Wait, did I just go that way? Huh? What? Why is an axolotl chirping? What? I just went the same way again. Huh? You mean, why are you wandering in Minotaur's maze? I'm in Kiv's maze. And I'm trying to get out. I'm lost. I'm lost in the maze. We're gonna be reading the book soon. I just want to get out of the maze. I feel like I just went in as Yoko. Oh my gosh. I've been stuck in the same part of the maze. How close am I? I've been stuck in the same part of the maze. Okay. I feel like maybe that was cheating. In the interest of not being in this maze for the 2 hours that we have to stream, I'm gonna stop there. I went in here. Oh, that's the exit. Oh wait, I actually went pretty far. I was here. So which way? We're going all the way down here. Oh, never mind. I was like, no, I had to go all the way down and around. Okay. And then there's the mini maze. What is this? Guys, it says gullible on the ceiling. That's so funny. Alright. Well, we have lost our sunset a little bit. Oh. Time set. Let's do noon. Oops. Anyone near you? I want to make it a little less dark. Set. Noon. Oh, it's so bright now. Oh my gosh. Can I speed time forward? Time set. Time. Add. Let's add 4 days for S. Oops. I don't think that was what I was meant to do. Whatever. Why don't we set it to midnight and then let it go, and then when it goes to what the heck? When it goes to whoa, what the heck? When it goes to thingy. Well, Blank, are you really far away? Oh my gosh, you're so far away. Wait, this is like actually like really far away. Is that what we're doing? We're moving locations? I feel like everyone's working on their builds though. I don't want to leave everyone without any builds. Hi, Ivis. But no sunset. Yeah, but that's okay. We can do the sunset from here. You can just do time set 12:00:00. Time set 12:00:00. Oh my god, that's so bright! What the heck? We'll wait for the sun to set a bit. I might... yeah, I don't know what to do about this. I don't want to destroy anyone's stuff. I see we destroyed all they can rebuild it somewhere else. Maybe just move it over there. It's just right. It's right in front of the thing. I feel bad. I'm sorry, whoever's heart this is. I'm sorry. Oh, it's so loud. Blank, can you do that? That's so loud. Why did it have to be out of glass? Game rule. Date. Advance time. Sure. Okay, cool. Hi Neko, Yumiko, how you doing this morning? I'm doing pretty good. It is nighttime though, for me. It should be a rule not to ruin the vibe. Yeah, that's a good idea. Is that TNT? Is that freaking TNT? Oh my gosh. Alright. Let's make a rule. Hello. Do not build in front of here. Please. What is happening in this server? We've lost our sunset. That's what's happening. Oh, I don't have commands to sit. Oh, I just went to sit. Okay. Let's get started on this book. We are reading today. We are reading. Why is it sticky? What the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language. Why is it sticky? Ugh. What have I got on the the book was on the floor and it's sticky and I have concern. Why is it sticky? What the heck? I'm wiping the book because it's sticky for no reason. Okay. We are reading Waiting by Sea by Judith Russell. Judith, fun fact, is an Australian reader. We are on chapter 5. Okay. To recap from last time, we followed Stella on her adventures. She has been... There. How do I even explain what happened last time? There was a guy who hid a package in a pot plant, and Stella found the package, and there's a bunch of men that want the package. And she is hiding in a cupboard right now. But there's a trail of bloody footprints that lead straight to her location. So we're gonna be finding out if she's gonna be caught. Wow. Here we go. Stella watched the masked men. She could hear her heart beating. It would only be a few moments and they would see the footprints and would find her. She clutched the atlas and Mr. Filbert's package, ready to run. Low-key, I don't want the tunes. Should we have no tunes? Should we just have talking and Minecraft ambience? Because I'm not feeling the tunes. The tunes are not doing it for me. Here you go. It would only be a few moments and they would see the footprints and they would find her. She clutched the atlas and Mr. Filbert's package, ready to run. The atlas is a book, like an atlas, like a book atlas. Is this time not moving? Because it feels like it's not moving. Game rule advance time set to true. Oh, well, I'm gonna just set it to night. Time set night. Minecraft night. That's way better. I don't know if it is for everyone else, but it is for the stream and my eyeballs. Game rule advance time false. Nice. Okay. She clutched the atlas and Mr. Filbert's package, ready to run. Strike anything? One of the men asked. Nothing at all, just flash curves kipping. Flippin' hell. He pointed at the hand of glory where it lay on the puddle, sputtering. Go on, Charlie, snapple it. It's going out. I ain't touching it, you nap it. Not on your life, that thing ain't natural. That's blood there. Look, one of the men pointed to the trail of footprints. Little footsteps. It's the nipper. She hid right in there. They moved towards the umbrella stand. Stella crouched, frozen with fear, as they spread out and surrounded her. I told you I seen a nipper. Charlie rubbed his big hands together. Come on out, little girl. We won't hurt you. The others laughed. He thrust his hand in behind the umbrellas and walking sticks. His big sausage fingers clutched the air just above Stella's head, groped around and connected with her cheek. She bit his hand as hard as he could. It tasted of sweat and dirt. He yelled and the hand disappeared. "Grab one of them stair sticks, Charlie. Wiggle her out." There was a rattle and a walking stick poked in behind the umbrellas and jabbed her ribs. "Out you come, brat." The stick poked her again. She yelped. "Gentlemen," it was the professor. Stella couldn't see him, but she recognized his quiet voice. "What is happening?" The men stopped laughing. "We found the the child professor. She's hidden herself here." Between an ivory umbrella handle in the shape of a parrot's head and a leather shooting stick, Stella caught a glimpse of the professor. He was standing some distance away, in the doorway of the sunroom. He had one hand on the shoulder of a thin, pale boy. He saw the hand of glory in the puddle. "Remove that from the water immediately," he ordered, his face stiff and angry. And then he said more urgently, "Immediately! Is that blood? It is extinguishing in flames! Quickly!" The masked men hesitated. 2 more flames sizzled and died. The professor cursed, strode quickly across the entrance hall, and reached down for the hand. As his fingers touched it, the last flame hissed, sputtered, and went out. He scooped it up. "Get that child, now!" He placed the hand upright on the table and felt in his pockets for matches. He lit one and held the flame to the tip of a twisted finger. The match flickered out. He cursed under his breath and tried again. The masked men began to pull walking sticks and umbrellas from the stand and throw them onto the floor. But already the air was lighter and clearer, and the hotel was stirring. Confused voices came from somewhere nearby. At the desk, Mr. Blenkinsop grunted, coughed, and woke up. He looked around the entrance hall in bewilderment. "Gentlemen?" He wiped a hand over his face and got to his feet. What is happening?" "Is there a way to get my controller to work in the server?" "I don't know, Iris. I'm sorry. I think that's a Minecraft side thing. I don't know." The professor whipped the unlit hand off the table, wrapped it in his handkerchief, and put it onto the inner pocket of his coat. He said in a low, angry voice, "You've bungled this, you imbeciles. Get that child, quickly." The umbrella stand began to rock. Hands clutched at Stella. She shrank away from them. One of the men pulled her arm. A maid appeared from the back stairs, her hair disheveled. "Mr. Blenkinsop! Mr. Blenkinsop!" What? General Cruitus came stumping down the stairs, waving his stick. "Robbers! Dacoits! Thuggies! After them!" More residents and servants appeared on the landing. The professor said, "Too late. Go!" His face was tight with fury. The masked men recoiled from him, turned away, and ran. They all piled out the front door and escaped away into the dark. The professor gripped the thin boy's shoulder to stop him from following them. The hotel was awake. Heads poked out over the banisters. Residents and servants in dressing gowns and nightcaps were coming down the staircase. Colonel Forbes appeared, his magnificent mustache confined in a complicated-looking hairnet. "Thieves!" shouted the professor. "A gang of thieves in the hotel!" "But, sir," Mr. Blenkinsop sounded confused, "you were with them. What were you—" One of the maids screamed and fainted dramatically, and the others clustered around. Lady Clottington's nasty little dog, Sir Oswald, shot down the staircase, growling ferociously, and bit Mr. Blenkinsop's ankle. He shrieked. Lady Clottington's maid, her hair in a rag curlers, tried to pull the dog off. Sir Oswald let go of Mr. Blenkinsop's ankle and snapped at her hand instead. She squealed. General Carruthers, Colonel Forbes, and several of the male servants stood in the open doorway, shouting into the darkness inside. Unseen in the confusion, Stella crawled out from the umbrella stand and tiptoed around the bustling crowd, staying close to a wall, keeping as far away from the professor as she could. She hugged the atlas and Mr. Filbert's package to her chest. The professor watched her. Their eyes met for a second. He moved towards her through the milling people. With an ear-splitting screech, Colonel Forbes Macaw Wellington flapped into the entrance hall with a flurry of ancient moth-eaten feathers. 2 of the servants ran to catch him as he flew past and banged their heads together. The fainting maid awoke for a moment, shrieked, and fainted again. Stella darted between the maids who were clustered around, gasping and giggling, to the manager's desk. She clutched at Mr. Blankensop's arm, shook it to get his attention, and when he bent down to her, she whispered urgently, "In the conservatory. Mr. Filbert, he needs help. He's been hurt." "In the conservatory?" He looked bewildered. She nodded and started to say more, but the professor was approaching, his long fingers reaching towards her, clutching the air. Mr. Blankensop turned to him. "Sir?" he said. The professor hesitated. Breathless, Stella turned away, ducked between the maids again, and scrambled up the stairs as fast as she could. Residents and servants dashed here and there. Stella glimpsed Lady Ogilvy and her maid peering out of a room on the second floor. Lady Ogilvy was hardly recognizable in her lace nightcap and without her wig and teeth. Stella ran, panting, all the way up to the third floor. Nobody had followed her. It was much quieter here at the top of the hotel. The commotion downstairs was just an echo of distant voices. The passageway was deserted. Stella hurried along to the aunt's parlor door. She pressed her ear against it and then opened it, slipped through the locked door behind her. The aunts were still sleeping. She could hear snoring whines from Aunt Temperance, grunts from Aunt Condolence, and deep thundering from Aunt Deliverance. She crept across the parlor to Aunt Condolence's door, pushed it open, and tiptoed between the sleeping aunts to her own bedroom. She was very relieved to find the key in the lock. She could not have managed to climb out the window and along the ledge again. She was too shaky and too frightened. Silently, she opened the door, locked it behind her, and collapsed onto her bed. For a minute or two she listened. There was nothing to hear but snoring. Nothing disturbed the aunt's sleep. Nobody had followed her. She was safe. She got up from the bed and poked the atlas and Mr. Filbert's package under the mattress, pushing them in as far as she could reach. It wasn't the best hiding place, but it would do for now, until she could return the package to Mr. Filbert. She thought for a second, and then pushed in the door key as well. There would be trouble in the morning when Ada came to unlock the door and found the key gone, but that could not be helped. She inspected her feet. They were filthy, but the bleeding seemed to have stopped. She crawled in under the cold bed covers. She still felt shaky. Her legs were aching and her feet hurt. Her ribs were bruised and she was so tired. She curled up, pulled the eye down over her head, but it was a long time before she stopped shivering and fell asleep. Chapter 6. Stella woke from a frightening dream full of horrible, twisting, burning black hands to hear whispering voices outside her bedroom. She turned over and sat up. Pale, grayish morning sunshine glanced in through the window. She blinked and rubbed her eyes. She climbed out of bed, tiptoed to the door, and pressed her ear against it. It was Ada and some of the hotel servants in the aunt's bedroom. Dead. No! They found him just lying there, flat out like a cold kipper. Saints preserve us. Stella pressed her hand to her mouth. Dead. Who was dead? The door handle rattled, making her jump. Ada's voice said, "Where is that dratted key?" Stella darted back to her bed and reached underneath the mattress. She ran silently over and pushed it under the door. Then she scrambled back into the bed, pulled the eiderdown up to her chin, and closed her eyes. The door handle rattled again. "Get that key from the other door, will you, Polly? They're all the same." "There it is, Ada," said one of the housemaids. "It's fallen out." The key turned in the lock, and Ada came into the room. "Morning, miss." Stella opened her eyes and yawned. She hoped it was convincing. "Good morning, Ada." She could hear the housemaids still whispering just outside the door. "Murder, thieves, police, I ask you. Oh, I know." "What happened, Ada?" Stella asked, trying to sound as if she'd been sleeping all night and knew nothing at all about anything. Ada closed the door firmly behind her, marched across to the window, drew the curtains back, and looped the tassels in place. "Nothing to concern yourself with, this." "Nothing to concern yourself with, miss," she said. She opened the wardrobe and rumbled through Stella's clothes. "But up you get, miss." Ada laid a chemise? Stays, stockings, a petticoat, another petticoat, a dress with grey and blue stripes, and a pinafore over the back of the chair. Come on, I've got no time to waste this morning. Polly, one of the younger housemaids, came in with the brass can of hot water and filled the jug. She jerked her head and said, "She's calling for you, Ada." Aunt Deliverance's bell jangled. Ada pointed to Stella and said, "Will you get her up and dressed, Polly?" "Be a love, I'm run off my feet this morning." And to Stella over her shoulder as she left the room, she said, "A proper wash, miss, not just a lick and a promise if you know what's good for you." Stella climbed out of bed. Polly gave a little shriek. "Miss, look at your nightgown!" Stella looked down. There was grime all over the front of her nightgown with blood spots on the hem, and her legs and feet were streaked with dirt. Polly giggled and twitched the nightgown off over her head. She held up the filthy garment. "I've never seen the like. All over with muck. What have you been up to, miss?" "Nothing, Polly." Polly giggled. "I should tell Ada about this, miss." "Please don't, Polly," said Stella, shivering in her vest and drawers. But she knew Polly would not get her into trouble. Polly was kind. She had an open, smiling face, and she would sometimes tell Stella gossip from the servants' hall and scandalous stories from the magazines she loved to read, and old fairy tales of drowned villages out in the marsh and sea monsters and mermaids. Polly shook her head and bundled up the nightgown. "You're safe with me, miss. I won't land you in strife. Nobody will notice a nightgown, not with everything going on this morning. I'll sneak it into the laundry." She laid the oilcloth over the carpet and handed Stella the sponge from the dressing table. Stella dipped the sponge into the water, bent down, and started to wipe the dirt off of her legs and feet. "What's happening, Polly?" she asked. "I shouldn't tell you, miss," said Polly, giggling again. "Oh, go on, Polly." Polly looked over at the door and then said in a low voice, "Well, miss, thieves got into the hotel last night." "Oh," Stella tried to sound surprised. "And after they found a gentleman lying dead, and ever so many things smashed to pieces." "Dead? Who?" "It was that foreign gentleman, Mr. Filbert. He was lying in the..." "Why is the turtle dying?" "Why are we killing the turtle?" "Ibis! Ibis! Ibis! Why are we killing the turtle?" What? What do you mean, why not? It didn't do anything to you. Poor turtle. Imagine just living your life. And then you get freaking hit. It looked at me weird. No, don't kill it. No. Stop. Don't kill the turtle. Leave it alone. No killing turtles or animals too loud. And it makes me sad. I don't like when they die. Yes. Fish. Oh, wait, I suppose a turtle is not a fish. Turtle is a friend, not food. Not to kill. It was that foreign gentleman, Mr. Filbert. He was lying in the conservatory, dead as a doormat, and all them flower pots busted to bits around him. Mr. Filbert dead! Stella dropped the sponge and pressed her hand to her mouth. "Are you all right, miss? You've gone ever so pale." Stella heard her voice say, "Yes," and she watched her hand reach down and pick up the sponge, but inside she felt hollow. Had he been alive? Oh, he had been alive. She had spoken to him, and now he was dead. It's horrible, isn't it, miss? Right here in the hotel. Everything's arsey-versey. What does that mean? Everything's arsey-versey this morning. Half the servants' hall are plain hysterical. Polly giggled again. People are talking about giving notice. We'll all be murdered in our beds, they say. Polly sounded as if she'd welcomed the idea. It's just like in Barney the Vampire or the Feast of Blood. Stella washed and dried her face and hands and started to get dressed. She felt dazed. Could she have done something to save Mr. Filbert? She pulled on her chemise, stays, and stockings. That new gentleman, the tall one, already gone, didn't stay the night. Polly helped with the stays and chemise and the petticoats, connecting the buttons and loops and tying the tapes. She bunched up the dress and draped it over Stella's head. The professor, thought Stella. She was relieved he had gone away. When her head emerged from the muffling folds of stiff fabric, she said, "He's gone?" Polly smoothed out the skirt and started fastening the long row of tiny buttons down the back. Something odd about that gentleman, if you ask me. That boy of his looked frightened of his own shadow, poor little chap. She finished buttoning the dress and shook out the pinafore. The police are coming, she went on. Perhaps they'll make an arrest. Perhaps they'll arrest Mr. Blenkinsop, she giggled. They've left poor Mr. Filbert lying right there in the conservatory. Nothing is to be touched. The door locked and James was watching it, ready for the detectives. For clues, miss, Polly said with some relish. She pushed Stella's arms into the pinafore and tied the tapes. Clues for the detectives, like in the haunted churchyard or the mystery of Manchurian dwarf. She brushed Stella's hair. Nice gentleman that, Mr. Filbert. Proper old-fashioned. Strange, though. He paid for his room with golden guineas, and there were more in his luggage. 200 years old, Mr. Fortescue says, and covered with earth, like they'd been dug up. But gold is gold, he says. She tied Stella's hair back with a ribbon and said, That's you done, miss. It's past breakfast time. Everything's late this morning. I've got to get on. Thank you, Polly, said Stella. She sat down to pull on her slippers. It was hard to believe that Mr. Filbert was dead. Dead. And she had his little package. Hide it. Keep it safe, he had said. But what was she meant to do with it now? I'm going to take a drink of water. If I can find my water bottle. Oh, here we go. It's very interesting, this book about Stella and her adventures. What is she gonna do with the package? Oh my goodness. I am very, very curious. Hello? I don't know why it muted. That's so freaking weird. Wow! How long have I been muted for? Wait, what? How long have I been muted for? Hello? Hello? What the heck? I've been reading the book and I was talking to Jin. What the heck? Wow. You got muted ever since I got into the stream. I'm gonna freaking kill myself. What do you mean it was muted? No! I sent my summons and you died. Now that's very cringe. You said you were having water and then nothing. Oh my freaking god, bro. What the heck? I'm very sorry. Let me do all of that again then. I said, hi Jin! Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for the sub. Oh my gosh, 13 months in a row. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And then I said, I really am glad that you get to stop by and see my stream. And I'm streaming in the afternoons now because I have work. And then I said, I really hope I get to see your streams and catch them too. Yeah. And then I said, okay, oh, this book is so interesting. Let's continue reading it. And then I said, I'm going to eat some broccoli. And then I ate 2 pieces of broccoli. Oh my gosh. Hi, of course, 13 months with you. Jen, I'm very happy that you stopped by. I missed having you around, and I miss being able to see your streams as well. I'm so sorry. No, it's okay. That's my fault. I don't know how I managed to do it. I think we've only read 2 pages though. Well, I can't believe I was muted for that long. Thank you very much for letting me know, Blank. I did not realize I was muted. Yeah, I was super busy and you had to go and I missed you. I know. I was really sick, but I am much better now. And my stream time is back to being at night. Earlier Minecraft is a bit like a few minutes, so I had to go, but Bud Racing is back. Yay! I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you so much. I hope you have fun playing Minecraft. Yeah. Hugs to you. I send you big hugs and lots of kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you. Alright, let's reread what we just read. The breakfast room was buzzing with anxious chatter, hammering noises, and the sounds of broken furniture being dragged around. Stella ate her breakfast of plain porridge, bread with a thin scrape of butter, and weak, milky tea. Aunt Deliverance believed rich foods such as jam and sugar and eggs were unwholesome for children, and listened to the conversations at the neighboring tables. Many of the residents were twittering like startled birds, saying things like, "Goodness gracious me," and "Who would have thought?" "You were so very heroic, General Kuruta," said Lady Ogilvy in a breathy, wavering voice. "Took to their heels, blasted goose-livered bossy bossuk," said the General, attacking his breakfast bloater with enthusiasm. "Had the blighters on the run, haha," said the Colonel Forbes. He poked the devil kidney into his mouth and chewed it up. "It's all very unsettling," said Aunt Temperance. Her rolling eyes swept around in an agitated manner. "That poor foreigner." Aunt Condolence's particular patent corset twanged as she swallowed a big mouthful of ham and eggs. "Most unsettling," she said. Stella put down her spoon. Should she say something? Should she tell them about the professor? She started to say it. "I saw—" "Silence, child," snapped Aunt Deliverance. "There is no necessity for vulgar chit-chat." She took an angry bite from a triangle of toasted marmalade and then added, "And do not slouch." After breakfast, it began to rain, so the aunts could not set out for their daily promenade along the front. Stella escaped to her bedroom, shut the door, and pulled Mr. Filbert's little package out from under her mattress. The string was knotted tightly. She worked at it with her fingers and then her teeth, and then at last she managed to loosen it. Her fingers trembled as she unwrapped the oilcloth and discovered a smaller package wrapped in a piece of crinkled yellowish paper. She glanced towards the door, but she could still hear the aunts' voices in the parlor, disapproving of the weather. She was safe for the moment. She unfolded the paper quickly. Inside was a small bottle. It was round and silvery, perhaps 2 inches across, and slightly iridescent like a fish scale or a mother-of-pearl back of her hairbrush. Etched into the surface of the bottle was a curved pattern like the coils of a serpent. The little bottle was corked and sealed with red wax. It was heavier than it looked and as smooth as glass. She held it up to the window and it sparkled in the greyish daylight. She shook it and heard a whispering noise as if something was slithering over shingle. Dark shapes flickered across the wallpaper. A sinuous shape seemed to move inside the bottle, but it was difficult to see. It was both dark and silvery at the same time. Perhaps it was only a shadow. It was beautiful, but it made her skin prickle. Mr. Filbert had tried to protect it. He had asked her to keep it safe, and she had promised. And now he was dead. She folded her fingers over it and held it tightly in the palm of her hand. Chapter 7. It rained all morning. Raindrops steamed down the window as Stella practiced the piano for it. Aunt Condolin sat beside her, rapping her smartly on the knuckles every time she played a wrong note, which was often. The piece she was learning, Waltz for the Pretty Flowers, seemed even harder than usual, and by the end of it, Aunt Condolence was furious and Stella was in tears. After luncheon, mock turtle soup, collared eels, pickled tongue and vegetable marrows, cabinet pudding, and custard, the rain stopped, and the aunts were able to take their promenade along the front. Pale sunshine glinted on the little white-capped waves, but the breeze was cold and dark. Oh, cold and damp, and dark clouds loomed on the horizon. Aunt Deliverance's beady black eyes peered out from a cocoon of shawls and blankets. Ada pushed the bath chair, Aunt Temperance and Aunt Condolence walked beside it, and Stella followed behind. The aunts always walked down the hill from the Hotel Majestic, and then along the front, past all the smaller hotels, the pleasure gardens and the pier, all the way to the lighthouse. Then they turned and walked back. Stella liked looking at the sea. It was sometimes grey, sometimes greyish blue or green, and often there were sailing ships or steamers. The front was generally busy. There were many convalescents huddled in invalid chairs, old ladies with tiny dogs, and nursemaids pushing perambulators full of muffled-up babies. Occasionally, a young gentleman hurtled along in a high-wheeled bicycle, and the aunts and all the other old ladies twittered disapprovingly. Sometimes a file of neatly dressed girls from Miss Mallard's Academy for Young Ladies walked past with grim-looking governess, and that was always interesting. Stella had often thought it would be agreeable to do her lessons with other girls, but from the look of them, the girls from Miss Mallard's Academy had a miserable time. They walked 2 by 2, their gloved hands folded primly, and their eyes down. They never whispered, talked to each other, or smiled. Her favourite part of the promenade was the pier. It stretched out over the sea, the little waves frothing around its elegant, spindly legs. It had curling lamp posts which seagulls liked to perch on, and stalls selling cockles and pies and vividly coloured sweets. Cheerful tinny music came from a barrel organ and the steam-powered merry-go-round. At the end of the pier was a theatre. It had white domes and fluttering flags. It looked like a palace. Stella longed to walk out along the pier, but it cost a penny, which she did not have, and Aunt Deliverance said it was quite vulgar, so she could only gaze from the front as they walked past every day. At the entrance to the pier was a gate of turnstiles. The walls on either side were covered with posters and playbills, pasted over each other. Signor Capelli's educated cats, astonishing performances. Monsieur Sabatine will balance on his teeth, a real living donkey. The Almonte brothers, eccentric and startling acrobats, take tumbling. Beautiful Abyssinian lady. Aunt Deliverance said, "Don't dawdle, child," as they walked briskly along the front, past the private villas and boarding houses and fishing boats, all the way to the shipwreck memorial, erected to commemorate the calamitous wreck of the Charlotte, 1752, 140 souls lost, below the lighthouse. The shipwreck memorial marked the edge of withering by sea. Beyond it lay the marsh, which stretched out as far as the horizon. Ada heaved the bath chair around and they started back. As they drew level with the pier again, an autocratic voice called, "Good afternoon," and an elderly lady heaved into sight. It was Miss Ollerenshaw, an acquaintance of Aunt Deliverance, a resident of the Hotel Imperial. Miss Ollerenshaw wore a ruffled black dress, a hat decorated with huge swaying bunches of curly black feathers, a black fur tippet, and several strings of jet beads. Her maid walked behind her, clutching the leads of 3 yapping Scottish terriers, and carrying a pile of rugs and shawls and an enormous black umbrella. Stella made a bob and said, "How do you do, Miss Ollerenshaw?" And after a minute or two, as he answered, Miss Ollerenshaw talked about the weather and then about how they had to watch the maids to ensure they did their work properly. And then about the scandalous events at the Hotel Majestic. She drifted away and gazed at the posters. Extraordinary feats, Miss Addie Scarsay, charming velocipedist. Wondrous curiosities, an immensely large Royal Bengal tiger. There was a picture of the tiger. It had staring eyes and impressive teeth and claws. Stella was admiring it when another poster caught her attention. With a jolt, she recognized the thin face staring out of the picture. It was the professor. He was dressed in black and standing behind a pillar which held a rabbit and a bowl of goldfish, and on the other side was a draped curtain. He had one hand raised and seemed to have lightning shooting out of it. Stella read, "Professor Stark, Conjuring and Wonderful Delusions, Marvels of Magic. The Magnificent Cabinet of Mysteries, the Snuff Box, the Enchanted Handkerchiefs, Beheading a Lady, the World of Spirits Revealed." Stella stared blankly at the poster. The professor was a magician. It made him seem even more frightening and mysterious. She thought of Mr. Filbert's silver bottle hidden safely under her mattress at the hotel. What could it be that was so important to him? Perhaps he would do magic to try and discover where it was. Perhaps he was doing magic right now. As she pondered this disconcerting thought, she heard a whimper. It sounded like a seagull or a cat. She looked around. There was nothing close by. She heard the sound again. It was kind of soft. Are you freaking kidding me? Why is it raining in Minecraft? Weather clear. Unless the rain sounds kind of nice. Maybe we'll have rain sounds for a bit. Let me know if it's too loud, chat. I don't know if it's too loud or not. Minecraft rain is pretty loud, so I don't know if it's gonna be too much. It is loud. Options, really good sound. That's better. There we go. As she pondered this disconcerting thought, she heard a whimper. It sounded like a seagull or a cat. She looked around. There was nothing close by. She heard the sound again. It was a kind of sob, and it seemed to come from under her feet. She walked to the railing, leaned over, and looked down at the beach. A small figure crouched in the shadow under the pier. His arms were wrapped around his knees, and his head was down. Stella looked over her shoulder. The aunts were still deep in conversation with Miss Ollerenshaw. Aunt Condolence was pointing towards her stomach and making twisting gestures with her fingers. They had started on the topic of their health, which would certainly keep them occupied for some time. Stella hung over the railing and called, "Are you all right?" He looked up. She recognized him. He was the thin, pale boy who had been with the professor at the hotel. His face seemed very white against the dark shadow under the pier, and there were black smudges beneath his eyes. He shrugged miserably and looked down again. Stella asked, "How did you get down there?" He didn't answer, but she spied a rusty ladder bolted to the sea wall. She looked back at the aunts and Miss Ollerenshaw. Aunt Condolence was making a vigorous gesture with her hands as if she was wringing out a dishcloth, and the others were nodding. They were clearly still discussing Aunt Condolence's insides. Stella pulled off her gloves. "I'm coming down," she said, and climbed over the railing. What the heck? Maybe I can... How do I make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oops, that's not right. Oh, there we go. Nice. Alright, Chapter 8. Stella climbed down the rusty ladder. Her feet crunched on the shingly beach. The tide was in and there was only a narrow strip of sand. The waves made a rhythmic hissing, tinkling noise, turning over the pebbles and frothing around the legs of the pier. She scrunched over to where the boy was sitting. He was hugging his knees, looking out to sea. He wore a thick coat and a grimy woolen scarf. "I'm Stella. Are you all right?" "I'm Ben," he shrugged. I saw you last night in the hotel. I know. She sat down behind him in the pebbles. It was cold in the shadow under the pier. She hugged her coat around herself and said, "You were looking into the ink." She cupped her hands together. "Scrying," he sniffed miserably. She waited for him to say more, and when he did not, she asked, "What's scrying?" "I can see things in the ink." "What kind of things?" "Things that have happened, and wherever he tells me, he makes me do it." He rubbed his hands over his face. His fingers were stained black. After a moment, he said, "I saw the gentleman hide a little thing in that pot." "And now he's dead," said Stella. Ben nodded. "I know, I saw. It was horrible." His voice wavered. "I couldn't help it." He put his head down, his shoulders shaking. She reached over and patted his arm. "It wasn't your fault." He shrugged without lifting his head. She patted him again. They sat together in silence for several minutes. Stella was not sure what she should say. There was a squeak, and a tiny black kitten poked its face out of the folds of Ben's scarf. Stella touched the kitten's head with one finger. Ben lifted his tear-stained face. "This is Shadow," he said, gently unhooking the kitten's claws from the entangling scarf. "She was sleeping. She's my cat." "Shadow," Stella stroked the little kitten. She was quite black, with sea-green eyes. She arched her back and rubbed her chin against Stella's hand, and then bit her finger, quite hard. "Ouch," said Stella. "I found her in the street all by herself. My gran had a black cat just like her. She's clever. I'm going to train her to do tricks," said Ben. "She likes you. She can tell you're Fae." "Does she?" said Stella, doubtfully, sucking her finger. And then she said, "I beg your pardon?" "She can tell you're Fae." He looked at her. His eyes were a peculiar pale grey. "You know, Fae, uncanny. Cats can tell." The kitten scrambled up onto his shoulder, purring. He stroked her, and she made some high-pitched squeaking noises and bit him on the ear. He went on, "Fae, like me." And when Stella shrugged, he said, "Oh, you must be. I knew straight away, because the hand of glory didn't make you sleep. It doesn't work if you're Fae." Stella shrugged again. "I don't know what you mean. What's Fae?" Ben wiped his nose with the back of his hand and sniffed. He said, "You know, my gran said Fae's like an echo of the old magic. Not powerful anymore, not like back when there was fairies and giants and sorcerers and that. Just a tiny trickly bit. Some people say touched, second sight, uncanny. You know, you see things that aren't there." "I can't do anything like that," said Stella. Ben shrugged. "Perhaps it's something else with you. It usually goes in your family." Stella shook her head. "No," she said, "not me. For me, my gran was part Selkie. I got it from her." "What's Selkie?" Stella asked. "They were seal people. They could change into seals in the sea from Scotland. They could see the future in still water," Gran said. Stella felt the back of her neck prickling. She suddenly remembered Aunt Condoleezza saying, "Disgraceful, even for a half." And then she had stopped. But what had she been about to say? A half what? Stella said firmly, "But there's no such thing as seal people, and nobody can see into the future." "Not anymore," said Ben. "Of course not. But in the old days, long ago." He tickled Shadow's chin. "Like with me. I'm not Selkie, but I'm Fae. I can't turn into a seal. I can't see the future. But I can see things that have happened in an ink. My gran and me, we had an act. She did scrying with a glass ball. She learned me we told fortunes." Ben gave a sudden grin. "It was a good act," he said in a whispery, foreign voice. "7 crows will fly over your roof. A toad will cross your path. A dark stranger will surprise you. It was good." His voice faltered, "But then she died, and I went in the orphanage," he said, rubbing his nose. "It was terrible there. And then the professor came and took me away. He knew our act. He remembered me. He needs me for scrying. He wants that little bottle." "Why does he want it? Do you know what's in it?" Ben said, "Don't open it." "I won't know." He looked at her seriously. "Don't open it. It's bad." He found all about it. He found out all about it in an old book in Latin. The bottle was buried under this big old tree out in the marsh where that village got drowned, you know? Stella nodded. She'd heard from Polly of the frightening story how the village had drowned in the marsh and how the church bells still rang on stormy nights even though the church had been empty for years and the bells were gone. Ben continued. "We went out there at night, cut down the tree and dug up the roots to find it, but that old cove took it." "Mr. Filbert?" "Yeah, I don't think that's his real name though. Dryad, the professor called him. He came out of nowhere when we were digging up the roots of the tree, grabbed the bottle and scalped. The professor lost him. Then he found where he was in that hotel and so we went there. But the cove wouldn't say where he'd hid it, so the men looked for it while the Hand of Glory was lit and everyone was sleeping. And then the professor made me scry. He was in a right fury when he didn't find it in the pot. He got a sword and that stick and he just pulled it out and stabbed the cove right in the chest. Ben rubbed his hands over his face again, leaving more black marks. It was horrible. Don't tell me. He crushed her arm. Don't tell me you've got it or where it is. Don't tell me nothing. If I know, I'll tell him. He'll just make me tell him. It's just, no. He let go of her arm. Don't tell me. He'll make me scry anyway, and then I'll see where it is, and I'll tell him. You can't trust me at all. He looked out to see his expression bleak. Stella stroked Shadow's head. Poor Ben. The professor sounded worse than 100 aunts. After a minute, she said, can't you run away from him? He shook his head miserably. He'd come after me. And then he added in a broken voice, I ain't brave enough. The police are coming today. Perhaps they'll arrest him. He ain't worried about them. She said, I saw the poster. He's a magician. Ben nodded. On the stage. Can he really do magic? Asked Stella. Ben shook his head. It's just tricks, he said. Mirrors and clockwork. He builds things though. He's clever. What about the Hand of Glory? Asked Stella. That wasn't a trick. No, said Ben with a shudder. He collects things too. Bad things. That's made out of the hand of a hanged man. It makes people sleep. You can only put out the flames with milk or blood. Stella remembered the blood in a puddle and the sputtering flames. She nodded. Is he Fae, the professor? It didn't make him go to sleep. That's because it was him what lit it. He ain't Fae. It's just tricks he builds and old things he collects. Where are you staying? She asked. He pointed his thumb over his shoulder. A boarding house back there. Flanagan's it's called. Do you live in that hotel? She nodded. With my aunts. They drink the water and have baths for their health. Drink the water? It's special water. It's revolting, I think. It comes up out of the ground underneath the hotel. It's famous. People drink it for their health, Stella giggled. Before this, in another hotel, they only ate white things like turnips and milk puddings and tapioca, and they had to drink potato juice for breakfast. And before that, we were up in the mountains. They had cold air baths, and there was an influence machine, and they had to sleep with their windows open. Sometimes the snow came in. And that makes them better? Not so far, said Stella. She scooped her fingers among the smooth beach pebbles and after a moment asked, do you know what it is? Do you know what's in the bottle? He nodded reluctantly. Professor's... Oh no, my connection's lost in Minecraft. What the heck? That's so sad. Give me a second, guys. What the heck? My freaking connection's gone. I was so locked in. Why is the connection gone? Did it happen to everyone? Or is it just me? What the heck? Is it the whole server or is it just me? I'm fine. It happened to all. Oh. That's really weird. It says it's online. Let me see if I can connect to it again. Oh, wow. Alright. I'm gonna restart the server. I just logged back on. Sorry guys, I'm restarting it. So you'll have to get back on after. I hope that you are enjoying the book so far. What do you guys think? I think it's very interesting. I like this book a lot. It's been a very long time since I've read it. I'm gonna read and then we will have a little bit of a chill Minecraft time. I might build something, I think, today. Alright. Will this work? Oh. What happened to my... Well, it worked, but my scene didn't work. It's good. That's good. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Let's go. Do you know what it is? Do you know what's in the bottle? He nodded reluctantly. Professor's always on about it. He talks about giants and fairies and sea serpents and sorcery from the old days. They were full of magic. They could turn into birds or fishes. And there was one sorcerer, he could turn into a sea serpent. Professor says he could make the weather, storms and that. The Grimpin sorcery he was called. And before he could say more, an angry voice came from above. Miss, where are you, drat you? It's Ada, she gasped, jumping on her feet. She can't see I'm not allowed to talk to anyone ever. Ben gave her another grin. I'll get out of the way. He scooped up Shadow, scrambled up the shingle to the seawall, and ducked behind one of the pier's iron legs. Go on, he said. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye, Shadow. Bye, Stella. She waved a hand at him and scrunched out from under the shelter of the pier into a steady drizzle. She hadn't noticed it started raining again. The aunts would be furious and wet. Ada, she called. I'm down here. She got her to climb up the rusty ladder. I'm here, Ada. An angry, dripping face appeared over the top of the railing. What on earth are you doing down there, miss? Nothing, Ada. Always making work for people. Sneaking off like that, always hiding. It's pouring rain and there you are, creeping around like I don't know what. Why can't you behave? Ada grasped Stella's arm and hauled her over the railing. I'm sorry, Ada. I've been up and down calling you for 20 minutes and I'm wet through. Your aunts have gone back to the hotel. Didn't you hear me? Said Ada. She took hold of Stella's shoulders and shook her until her teeth rattled, and then gripped her arm and strode her back along the deserted front, pulling Stella with her. The sea had disappeared into a grey mist haze and the rain was becoming heavier. Stella said, I'm sorry, Ada, again, but Ada did not answer. They climbed the hill to the hotel, splashing through puddles. Water dripped off the brim of Stella's hat and trickled down her neck. Her hair was plastered down her back. Ada was even wetter, and her grip on Stella's arm was tight and angry. She marched along the drive and in through the front door of the hotel. She snatched off Stella's dripping coat and hand, pulled off her own things, shook them out, and hung them up. She grabbed Stella's arm again and dragged her across the entrance hall to the bathhouse. Where are we going? Asked Stella, her wet shoes skidding on the marble floor. Your aunts want to see you. They'll be in the wave bath. Stella's heart sank and shivered. Tendrils of mist swirled around her, and the wave bath machine clanked ominously in the distance. Ada marched Stella along the tiled corridor. Hot, misty air drifted out of the doorways, icy winds whirling around unexpectedly, and water dripping. Stella said, Are they very angry, Ada? What do you think, miss? Snapped Ada discouragingly. She pulled Stella through an archway and down a short flight of slippery stairs. The wave bath machine made a slow grunting clank, clank, clank. A deep-sounding noise that Stella could hear through her feet and in her teeth. Thick steam billowed around. Drops of warm water condensed on the blue and gold mosaic dolphins that decorated the arched ceiling, trickling down the tile walls and pooling on the floor. Stella blinked and coughed. I found the child, ma'am. Miss Temperance, Miss Condolence. Ada spoke loudly above the noise. She made a bob and gave Stella a push towards the row of baths. Stella took a few nervous steps and stopped. Clank, clank, clank. Each time the machine made another slow cycle, the 6 baths rocked forward and back. In each bath, waves formed and broke over the foot and then over the head. Water splashed out of the baths and trickled down the drain as more water poured from above. 3 baths were empty. 3 baths were full of aunts. They were wrapped and strapped up like enormous puddings blasting in the steaming water. Clank, clank, clank. The waves bath machine lifted the row of baths. The aunts' heads were raised up and waves broke over their legs and feet. They all glared at Stella. Come closer, commanded Aunt Deliverance. Ada, where did you find her? Under the pier, Mom. Aunt Deliverance studied Stella, her eyes like 2 little currants. For some reason, Aunt Deliverance seemed even more frightened, strapped helplessly into the wave bath like this than she did wheeling around in her bath chair. Only her pastry-boiled-looking face showed, and only when the bath rocked forward. Excuse me. The rest of her was streaming wet, canvas straps and buckles. Stand up straight, child. Don't hunch your shoulders, she snapped. She looked unusually grim. Aunt Temperance and Aunt Condolence made outraged sniffing noises. Stella straightened up, put her hands behind her back and her ankles together. You are repeatedly disobedient, willful, obstinate. Clank, clank, clank. The bath slowly rocked backwards and the aunt's faces disappeared from sight. There was a surge and a splash. Clank, clank. Intractable and ungrateful, Aunt Deliverance went on as she rose up again, streaming with water. Look at the state of your clothes. You seem to have no idea how a lady should behave. Your lessons showed no improvement at all, and Condolence tells me your performance on the pianoforte is getting worse. Yes, indeed, said Aunt Condolence. Another wave broke over their feet, and the bath clanked and rocked backwards. A wave crashed again. Clank, clank, Aunt Deliverance continued, which hardly seems possible. Temperance tells me you constantly question her during lesson time. Sordid curiosity. Yesterday you missed luncheon, and today Ada finds you skulking under a pier. Disgraceful and dangerous. Aunt Deliverance glared at Stella as the bath tipped backwards. Stella stared back miserably. Clank, clank. I will not have any more of this behavior. Aunt Deliverance appeared again, looking thunderous. You will be dutiful, punctual, and obedient. You will apply yourself to your lessons, and I will see improvement in your conduct. No tea today, bread and water for your supper, and you'll spend 2 hours every morning practicing your deportment to correct that slouch. Stella said, yes, Aunt Deliverance, and looked sadly down at her waterlogged shoes. Hi, Kitty Meow. Hi, hello. Welcome. I'm going to have some water. Friday was Stella's bath night, which was fortunate because she was drenched to the skin and felt shivery and miserable. The aunts had a magnificent private bathroom. Tiles with pictures of brilliantly coloured birds on them were set in the panelled walls. The taps and pipes were gleaming copper and brass. The gas lights hung with sparkling crystals, and the enormous bath was surrounded with mahogany panelling. Ada leaned over the bath to fiddle with the levers and taps. The Hotel Majestic was extremely modern, and as well as the vertical omnibus and flush-down water closets, had piped hot water, which meant the servants didn't have to carry the water to fill the baths. When the levers were adjusted correctly and the taps were turned, the hot water came sputtering and steaming from a spout in the shape of a dolphin straight into the bath. The dolphin hissed and shot out a cloud of steam. Ada jumped, muttering something under her breath, and adjusted a lever. The dolphin clanked and gurgled and sputtered and spat. Ada banged it with the side of her hand, and it made one final coughing noise before water gushed into the bath. As the bath filled, Ada helped Stella undress not very gently and tied her hair up. She leant over to turn off the taps. Stella climbed into the bath, and Ada bustled about, muttering under her breath. She took the bundle of wet clothes away and came back with underclothes and a nightgown and hung them out over the back of the chair. Wash yourself properly, don't get that hair any wetter, mind, miss, she said, and went away again. Stella lay back in the warm water. She had not cried when the aunt had been scolding her, but now, when nobody could see, she let 2 tears trickle down her face and drip into the bath water. It was a familiar, dismal feeling to be in disgrace, and this time Aunt Deliverance had been especially furious. Stella sighed, lifting the sponge and let the water trickle onto her face and wash away the tears. She wondered what Ben was doing right now. Perhaps he was helping the professor get ready for the magic show in the theater. Or perhaps the professor was making him see things in the ink again, trying to find Mr. Filbert's bottle. Poor Ben. It sounded as if he had a wretched life. The professor was even more frightening than the aunts, and more dangerous. She thought about what Ben had said, that she might be Fae. It seemed very unlikely. She couldn't see things that weren't there as he did in the ink. She certainly couldn't do anything like that. It goes in your family, he had said. His gran was part Selkie, and there was nothing in the outlets about Selkie, she was sure of that. And nothing in French conversations for young ladies either. Perhaps Polly knew about them. Were there Selkies in her own family? Or something else? All Stella knew was that her parents had died when they were little. The hotel residents sometimes hissed and whispered behind their hands, and Stella had overheard enough scraps of servants' gossip to know that there was some kind of secret, perhaps a scandal. But the aunts would never answer her questions. Curiosity is vulgar, silence is golden, Aunt Deliverance said, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. There was a framed daguerreotype in the Aunt Deliverance's bedroom, an ancient picture of all 3 aunts as very young ladies, but quite recognizable from their stern and disapproving expressions. On Aunt Condolence's lap sat the 4th sister, a baby with round, startled eyes dressed in extraordinary quantities of frills and ribbons. That baby was Stella's mother, Patience. Stella squeezed the sponge over her face again and thought about the baby in the picture. How could she find out more about her mother? And what about her father? She didn't even know his name. Her surname Montgomery came from her mother. The aunts never spoke of her father, but it was clear that they disapproved strongly. She had always known he had been somehow disreputable, or perhaps he had done something disgraceful. But now she wondered if it was something else. How could she find out? Outside the bathroom door, the maids were gossiping again. Stella could hear gasps and giggling, and there was a knock on the door. She wiped her face and called, "Come in." Polly pushed the door open. "Here you are, miss," she said, and put a pile of folded towels on the chair. "Thank you, Polly." Stella sat up in the bath. "What's happening?" Polly giggled and said, "Oh, I shouldn't tell you, miss. I shouldn't really." "Oh, go on, Polly." Polly perched on the side of the bath. "Well, miss, the police detectives from London are here." "Oh," said Stella. "They're down in the entrance hall right now talking to Mr. Blenkinsop and James and Mr. Fortescue." Stella nodded. Mr. Fortescue was the owner of the hotel. "Well, when they went to look at poor Mr. Filbert in the conservatory, you wouldn't believe what they found, miss." "What?" Polly lowered her voice to a whisper. "Just old sticks twisted up like a scarecrow in Mr. Filbert's clothes, but no body, and the conservatory locked, miss, and James watching the door." Stella put a hand to her mouth. "They've dragged it into the entrance hall. It's lying there now. The police say if there's no body, there's no murder. They think it's a trick, a swizzle. They're going back to London tomorrow." "But what about Mr. Filbert?" asked Stella, half to herself. Polly got up from the bath. "Well, miss, it's like in the Gypsy's Warning, all love and ruin." She held up a finger. "Foreigners, miss, you can't tell what they'll get up to. That's what people are saying." She gave a giggle and whisked out of the bathroom. Stella stared blankly at the empty room. But Mr. Filbert was dead. Ben had seen it happen. He'd seen the professor stab him in the chest. After a moment, she climbed out of the bath, dried herself roughly, and pulled on her nightclothes. She opened the bathroom door. The aunts were getting dressed for dinner in their bedrooms. She could hear Aunt Deliverance scolding Ada and Aunt Condolence's particular pattern corset twanging busily. Stella tiptoed across the empty parlor, pulled open the door, and peeped out. The passage was deserted. She crept along to the main staircase towards the echoing sounds of voices and leant over the banisters. Below, the entrance hall was crowded with clustered groups of residents and servants. A body lay in the middle of the patent marble floor. It was the figure of a man made from twisted sticks. It was dressed in a shirt, trousers, and slippers. Its arms were outflung, the back arched, and in the center of the white shirt front was a dark, spreading stain. The face of the figure seemed to be staring straight up at Stella, and although it was formed only from sticks, it was somehow twisted into an expression of horror. Stella felt shaking. She swallowed and tore her gaze away from the grotesque scarecrow. She studied the other people milling around it. From above, Stella could see only the tops of their heads, but she spied 2 policemen helmets as she recognized the grey hair of the housekeeper, Mr. Abercrombie, fussing around the Maces Lades caps, chivvying them back to work. At the front desk stood Mr. Fortescue, an enormous gentleman with a very impressive orange wavy hair. With him was the shiny bald head of Mr. Blenkinsop and the dark smooth hair of James, the conductor of the vertical omnibus. Several men in hats appeared to be asking them angry questions and writing the answers in their notebooks. The police detectives, thought Stella. She started down the staircase. She should tell the police detective about what she'd seen and what they knew about the professor and Mr. Filbert. Would they listen to her? Quick footsteps from behind made her jump. It was Ada, and she looked furious. She grabbed Stella's arm with a hard hand and dragged her back up the stairs and along to the aunt's room, scolding in an angry undertone. "What are you up to now, miss?" "But, Ada," "priggling around your nightie, making trouble again." "I'm sorry, Ada, I was—" "Hold your tongue, miss." Ada whisked her along to the bedroom and pulled her inside. She picked up the hairbrush and yanked it through Stella's damp, tangled hair, hard enough to make her cry out. When she's finished, she gave Stella a sharp rap on the head with the brush. "You stay put, miss, or you'll catch it," she snapped. She stalked out of the room, slammed the door, and turned the key in the lock. "Hey, Neko cat, get in my bag. We go get ice cream." I like ice cream. I can't have dairy, though. Well, I can. I shouldn't. That's the answer to that question. Oh, we're on chapter 10. Wow. I need to have a stretch. Wow. I'm so tired. I think this will be the last chapter, guys. Have some water. What's happening in Minecraft? What's going on? Ooh, the castle in the distance is so pretty. I like it. It's very cool. Do you guys see it says gullible in the sky? Yeah. It says gullible on the ceiling. Yumi, Geo, come here when you can. Okay, let me. Maybe we'll actually let's stop there for now. We're up to chapter 10. That's a good place to stop. The next chapter is pretty good. Let's go and have a look at Minecraft. What am I doing? I'm having a look for Ibis. Hi. Hi. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. There's Geo. And then it's me. I think it's me. And then it's Ibis. I think it's Ibis. I'm assuming is that us three? How do I go up? I'll add twinnings. Nice. You can put him on top of Geo. And put him right here. Alright. What does this say? Yumi! Alright, should we build something? I tried to build last time, I was very bad, so... some nice Minecraft stuff. What should we build for our last 20 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes of stream? There's so many things in this version of Minecraft. Wow. Should we build an axolotl pond? That seems like fun. We could do that. We can build an axolotl pond. Let's build it over here, because it's already half done. We want to make sure they don't get out into the ocean. So, let's do it here. Wow. And we need to dig down. Chat, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom really quickly. But I will be right back. I'll play some nice tunes for you while I am gone. I'm back. Should we leave the music on for the last little bit? Wow. Okay, let's make this. I need to ask a little upon. I should make it smaller than this actually. I think it's too big. Maybe we'll do it somewhere else. We'll do it maybe inland. I do kind of want to do it here though. Da da. Oops. Oops. Make it much smaller. That's such a funny shape. I should go out here, actually. That's a bit better. Okay. Hi, Gio. The only things that I ever make in Minecraft are like portal rooms. And I've been making a lot of portal rooms. I now make 20. Oh, nice! You should show them. The water is so clear. Oh no. Oh! Where'd the firework go? It didn't go off. Gio, where'd the firework go? It's gone. Main 24 came back in the air. But it's not there. It didn't go off. 24 carrot and carrots in the air. Dude, that's crazy. Oh, look! Wait, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's so cool. I like the names next to them as well. Wow. Dude, there's 24 carrots and magic in the air. But it's not actually in the air because it's on a piece of wool. So if you get rid of the wool, buy Bruno Mars. Oh, that's funny. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Why is it doing that? Oh. Apparently sea pickles don't like to be that. Okay, let's see. Bucket of tadpole. I didn't even know that there was tadpoles. Where did the tadpoles come from? Bucket of tadpole. What else can we put? Hope you've been doing well, Yumi. Thank you! Hello, hello, welcome. We've just finished reading the next 5 chapters of the book that we were reading. And now I'm making a little axolotl pond. And then we're finishing up. How have you been? Are you good? I hope you're doing well. I heard something. Cactus, flower, firefly. Seagrass, kelp. Coral. We need some coral. Whoa, it's so loud. Bubble coral. brain coral, and tube coral. Hi, Blank. And rod. That's such a good idea. Oh. Wow, it's pink and blue. It's pink and blue like me. I'm pink and blue. You see? I'm pink and blue. Hi. Oh no! It doesn't work underwater. Oops. They have some kelp. We should put some maybe stone or something as well. Bubble coral. I like this color. This color is cool. Brain coral. I feel like my distribution of coral is a little bit off. Are there like water lily pads? Is that a thing? Sulfur spike. What's sulfur? Ah. No, there's no lily pads. Oh, there is lily pads, but there's not. There's drip leaves. That's kind of cool. Should we put some of those in? Ah. I'll put a drip leaf. Oh, I need to put them on clay. Oh, they're so pretty. Wow. Fish. If I put the axolotl in here, are they gonna eat all the fish? Oh, okay, I won't do that then. This can be the fish pond. We'll leave this one can be the fish pond. They're so cute. No, 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 no. No, 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 not the fish. No, 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 no. Oh, man. Bucket. Come here. Why can't I pick it up? Why can't I pick up the axolotl? Am I silly? Why no working? Do I need the water? Might already have to have. It might already have to have water in it. Yoink! I got it. I stole the bucket of axolotl. It would be cool if there was like flowers. That would be cool. There's no underwater flowers though. Redstone block. Oh, drip leaf is a redstone block? Ingredients? Any ingredients? Oh, no, 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 no. Don't kill the fish. Why are you killing the fish? Oh my god. This is insane. There's so many. Ominous trial key. Yumi fish. There is Yumi. Oh my god, so many Yumi fish. It's so cute. Oh my god, stop killing the fish. It scared me so much. Stop killing. Blank. Blank. No, leave them so it's lots of the different type of fish. No, don't kill them, please. Oh god, get in the water. They're trying to kill themselves. They're like, let me commit suicide before blanking the sword gets to me. Oh, we said like there's tadpoles. Ghost, clay frog, llama, goat, trial spawner, cow spawner, a breeze spawner. What? Wow. What's that? Is it a frog? Oh, they're so cute! Oh my gosh! They're so cute! I've never seen them properly before. Little froggy! Hi! Hi, little froggy! Oh my god, they jump so high! They're so cute. They're tadpoles and squids as well. Ooh, I want to make some bumblebees. Let's make a bumblebee grove. That'll be my last thing. I need a beehive. Beehive. Bee nest. Bumblebees. Oh, I'm very sorry. Whoops. Whoops. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. A fox! Ah! Yeah, foxes are my favorite animal. Did you know that? Foxes are my favorite animal. Hi, little guy. You're so cute. Pink petals, wildflowers. Oh my jeez, that's that scared me. Oh, it's so loud. Vines. Greg. Hi, Greg. Whoops. And make this place very pretty. This is where all the bumblebees are. What's up? Hi, Sleeve. We've been reading a lot of the book. What the heck? Here we go. Wow. I'm just finishing up now. I love my program is going well. Nice! That's really good to hear. I am about to be finished with... I'm just gonna finish this up. We need to add some flowers. Glowberries. Yeah. Why can't I? Oh, I can put them off the beehive. That's kind of cool. I need to bone meal them to make them grow, right? Golden dandelion. These are pretty. Oh, thank you. Okay. Done all the letters. Oh, nice. Let me come and see. I'll come and have a look in a second. Well, apparently I can't put that down. I thought I could. Maybe I can't. Food and drink. What's your natural box? Here we go. Some amethyst, and we'll have some cornflowers. Is that a goat? Is that a freaking goat that I hear? Why, I swear to God, is that a goat? Why is there a goat on my screen? What the heck, man? He's so loud. Oh. Is it goat okay? The magical fairy goat? He's guarding the forest. He's guarding the fairy grove. We need to get some big, some this small one and some big ones. And yeah, I like these flowers a lot. We need to get some bigger flowers. Let's get some rose bushes, some lilacs, and some tall grass. Get some lilac bushes. Rose bush. Wow. And some small crystals. Little baby crystals. And then some big crystals. We'll just put just a few of these. Yeah. I want to say hi before you finish. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look at you being a good moderator. And Lily of the Valley. We should put some lights here as well. Ochre frog light. Put them in the ground, in the holes that I accidentally put, and then maybe a few more. Why is the goat floating? It's like fairy lights, except not really fairy lights. I miss the goat. Wow! Thank you so much, Big Shrimpin69. What a great username. Thank you very much for the follow. I hope that you will enjoy and stick around. Yeah. Let me see. What is one more thing we can add? I want something preferably from the ceiling, I think. So let me have a look. Oh, lanterns, of course. I didn't even think about that. Oh, and candles. We haven't added any candles. Just the normal candles, I think. Whitestone blocks. We need flint and steel. I think it's under tools. Flint and steel. There we go. Cool. Let's do soul lanterns. Make it a little bit more fairy fairy-esque. Some of these really tall ones as well. Oops. Oops. I keep accidentally breaking things. Huh? Is that a beacon? Somebody's made a beacon. And now candles. Want me to move Bonnie? Is that Bonnie? Is Bonnie the goat? Is this Bonnie? He doesn't have a name. I'm gonna assume that's Bonnie. Yeah, you can leave him there if you want. I don't mind. He's actually not as loud as I thought that he was going to be. Now, I just need to not accidentally set anything on fire while I'm lighting the candles. You should get bunnies though, bunny rabbits. They're cute. Should we spawn some bunny rabbits? Spawn egg. Rabbit! Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Rascally rabbit. And some alloys. We should definitely get some alloys because they're pretty. Lead and fits. Here we go. Here. I'm gonna put some up here. Well, they make really weird noises. You're not going anywhere. And I'll put one over here. Here we go. Cute. And we'll give them stuff to hold. We should give them a lantern to hold. I'll give you a lantern as well. And I think this one is stuck. Here we go. And our bunny. Oh my god, there's a fat bunny. Oh my gosh, that is one chunkalicious rabbit. Oh, is there? Can I get a baby or? Oh, Matilda. Wow. I didn't even know that you had armadillos. This is literally the biggest bunny I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my god, there's so many. Bunny. Yay! Hi, Yumi, I made it. Mimi, hello. We're just finishing up. Oh my god, he's so freaking cute. Hi, Greg. Okay, nice. Oh. Alright, let's have a look at this ibis before I leave. Twins, Geo, Yumi, and ibis. Yay! It looks really good, ibis. It looks really, really good. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yay! Good job. Alright, everyone who joins the server. Nice! Well, we will have to, unfortunately, say goodbye for now. I will leave the server up for everyone. When the last person leaves the server, we're closed. So, if you want to join just in Minecraft, now's your time. But we are going to say goodbye. And I am going to see you guys next time. So, as I kill another skin. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, everyone. We're going to go straight to my ending screen. So, thank you all very, very much for watching. If you enjoyed our cozy Minecraft ASMR reading a book to you, then make sure to like and subscribe, and that way you will never miss when I am live. You can also join the Discord by typing !Discord in the Twitch chat, or by going to the link in the description on YouTube. Thank you so much! If you haven't already, please make sure that you go outside today. You touch some grass, you eat good food, drink good drink, and tell your loved ones that you love them. I hope this stream made your day a little bit better and a little bit brighter, because it sure made mine. Okay, everyone. My name is Neko Yumiko, but most people call me Yumi, and I will speak to you all very, very, very soon. Bye bye. Good night, everyone. Good night. I hope you all sleep well and have super sweet dreams. Bye bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. There will be no streams rest of the week, so. And if you're on Twitch, stick around. Or actually, no. Or maybe we might raid someone. we're gonna raid Jin. So stick around and we'll raid Jin. Okay. Good night.